I apologize in advance for any inconvenience you may have incurred while watching this video. As compensation, I will be awarding 3 Clone Wars Chewie shards for anybody who subscribes to the channel for the low price of $29.99. Free? What the hell is this shit? What do they think it is, a charity? Or free. The subscription price is free. And I'll be giving you guys 3 Clone Wars Chewie shards, which is your compensation for this video, if you subscribe. And they'll be delivered soon. Trademark. See you on the holotables.
Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Senate.
Hello there, and welcome to the video. Today, we will be discussing Conquest 10 and the upcoming Conquest changes in the road ahead. The first question I'm probably going to be asked now is, now that the Conquest Pass is introduced, is Conquest pay to win? And I would have to say no, considering how bad the rewards are from the Battle Pass. I've take a look at them. The easy is absolutely not worth it. Medium, probably not worth it. Hard, you might be able to make a case, but I think, what's it called? It's the ye old bait and switch tactic by Capital Games. They sell you something, they create a problem, sell you a solution. It's used by many companies, but effectively what they've done is they've increased the energy cost, but you can get your energy cost back to normal if you buy the Conquest Pass. Yeah, boy. I do appreciate how they gave 10 more Conquest credits each time you win a battle. I think that's a really nice change. But considering the fact that I have 11 relics on my account and I'm stuck in easy mode facing a bunch of Gear 6s, and I can't even get Razor Crest shards in easy mode, which is another thing they need to fix. They said they're going to be relaunching Conquest because of this issue, but I'm not sure they actually will. I'm hoping they do, though, because I've made it somewhat far in easy mode, and I'd like to hoard up all my Conquest credits, and then the next time when I can play normal, just shell them out on Razor Crest. I also think that the new Conquest characters, I would much prefer legendary characters, even 7-star ones, like ones that I know I won't get, but no, not a GL, not a what's it called? Epic Confrontation character, just a normal legendary, 5-star unlock, 7-star unlock, doesn't matter to me. A Journey Guide would be pretty cool, but I'm not sure who left is for the Journey Guide, but I mean, you can dive into other regions too, like the Force Unleashed, Jedi Fallen Order. There's probably quite a few that I'm forgetting, but anyway, and I also think if they are going down the route of new Conquest characters, I would really love to see them be a 5 or 6-star unlock, because I want to be able to play with them. I'd like to be able to play against them, but I don't necessarily need Relic, Boba Fett, Cyana, Jango's, and Division 10 Grand Arena. So I think that would be a very good balance, because if the new players don't be able to get engaged with the new content, then they aren't really going to care. And for a lot of people, this is a comparison that I'm going to make, that like the game, it's like a gourmet food tray with a side of ketchup. But the ketchup tastes really bad, I have to say. It's like garbage-ass ketchup. But people decide to do what they want with that, because I'd say the ketchup is Conquest, the rest is the game. And obviously, at different spots, different parts of the food may taste bad. But it depends on if you want to just throw the whole plate out because of one bit being bad and just like quit the game over a game mode that you can just not play, or you just want to throw away the game mode and just not play the game mode, which if nobody plays Conquest, then that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to play Conquest, you don't have to, and it is it's a less of a grind, but it's just more annoying now, because considering the fact that if you're on full energy with the energy increase update, if you're on max energy and you start the day off fresh in Conquest, you can only get through 7 battles, which is like a fourth of a sector, so it's pretty insignificant how much progression you can have each day, and you kind of got to be logging on every day, and you probably also have to do refreshes to finish all the way to the end of Conquest, so that's rather annoying. I'm stuck pitted against like Gear 6, Gear 7, and Conquest. This happened to a lot of people. It's pretty annoying how you need to be 2 million galactic power for normal. That wasn't intentional, which I think is a good thing that it wasn't intentional, but I think it's just general incompetence. And they said that they'll be relaunching Conquest soon, so I hope they actually do that. And while I guess it's nice having an easy track and getting all the Conquest credits, at some point there's going to be like a Gear 6 Ewok Scout that outruns my 367 speed Piet, and that's just going to be because of overprepared, because they never really give us any good modifiers. The data discs are alright, but who needs potency when you can have plus 80% speed? Anyhow, we'll move on to the second stage, which is regarding the community and the changes and how it's impacted. I think that this is this is a better stage than the GL changes, where you pretty much couldn't counter a GL with a non-GL. I mean, you still can. They haven't bothered. Why, I wouldn't say consider it to be fixing, but Capital Games would probably consider fixing Galactic Legends counters. But I think that's fine that they haven't fixed those. I think it's better for the long-term health of the game, and many people probably agree. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for this stage. You're going to move on to the second stage. Alright, we are now in the second and final stage of the video. This is where I teach you about the 5 stages of grief. Conquest Edition. So, no matter where you are in one of these 5 stages, I have to say, for the very minimal demographic of people that enjoy playing Conquest, you can just skip to the end of the video, I'll tell you that much. But for the majority of the audience, it's perfectly fine if you are in any of these 5 stages. It happens to pretty much everyone, and 5 stages of grief can apply to a lot in life, especially watching the Packers play in the playoffs. And I'm a Packers fan, for context. We're going to start it off with, in order, Stage 1, which is denial. And regarding Conquest, there is a lot of denial, I have to say, around the community, where people are thinking, I can't believe Capital Games has done this. Not necessarily many, though, because not many people are very trusting of Capital Games, myself included. But yeah, it seems like the changes were pretty drastic. People are in denial if Conquest would ever be a good game mode again, if it could be potentially redeemed, if they're trying to just take out all the cash for Conquest and make it a pay-to-win mode. There's a lot of denial surrounding Conquest and the game, I suppose. But yeah, a lot of people are in denial on where CG's taking this, on what they're doing. But yes, many people cannot believe what the Battle Pass has become, because I have to say it's not as pay-to-win like I mentioned before, because the deals are pretty dog shit. The rewards of Conquest are literally like worth it. I think there's a Reddit post about the rewards of Conquest being worse than the max crate on Easy, and the max crate on Easy for Galactic Challenges can probably take 1 battle, whereas Conquest takes like maybe 3 or 4 hours of playtime on Easy. So Conquest is not really worth the time. And yeah, if you don't enjoy it, then you don't have to play Conquest. It's not a good rewards to time ratio. It used to be, but I don't really think it is anymore. So the second stage, which is I'd say the very big demographic is anger. A lot of people are mad at CG, myself included. I'm not too happy about it. I'd have to say I am in the 5th stage probably of the 5 stages of grief, but second stage, anger. A lot of people are complaining to CG. I 100% get it. And this anger from the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community is more retributive anger, if I'm using that word correctly, than just blind hate, because I have to say they kind of did deserve this, and you could probably see it coming. They're kind of tanking their reputation right now. But yeah, there's a lot of anger surrounding Conquest specifically. I'm less angry about this update because they've just thrown Conquest into the ditch instead of the entire meta, like they did last time with the GL changes and counter meta as well. But yeah, I think the Omnicrons is a good feature, but a lot of people disagree. I think it's nice having teams relevant in certain game modes without completely toppling the Grand Arena meta or the Grand Arena balance. But I think the main topic pertaining anger is a lot of people very mad at Capital Games for the upcoming changes. And the main thing about Stage 2 is Stage 2 could go 2 ways. First way, which is the most likely way, CG, they're kind of on our side for certain issues like bugs. They don't want to see bugs in their game, it's pretty obvious. But if there's going to be a choice between their way, which is like, say, monetizing something, or the player's way, I'd say 10 times out of 10 they'll probably pick their way if they are contradicting. They obviously want to have both ways, but in the many scenarios where they contradict, they will typically pick themselves over the players, which I agreed, it's a bit of an issue in the world, I have to say, but that's a bigger topic, and CG is already like a billion-dollar company, I believe, so. And this game has revenued like, I think, $1 billion, so. Anyhow, the third stage, which is bargaining, many people see Conquest as a sinking ship, if not already sunk, and Conquest, it's just been getting a bit grindy, it's been getting a bit stale. It's not like a heavily monetized game mode. I know, yeah, people would disagree with the Battle Pass, but I still think the Battle Pass is not a good offer. It's not a good price range. And typically in every other game that I've played, the Battle Pass is the best offer in the game. And the Battle Pass just seems pretty lackluster, so. Or at least it's lackluster in relation to price, but you could say that about a lot of offers in this game. And I have to say that bargaining as well, maybe they can like fix a couple of things here and there, like maybe they can drop the stamina back to normal, which they said they're going to do, but I still don't like the changes where they're dropping the Conquest credits, because they're going to change the stamina back now to, I think, normal, but they'll keep part at 20 energy, and they're going to decrease Conquest credits per time, so people were complaining about that, and sometimes anger leads to results, sometimes anger leads to this. And they fixed one thing, but in typical CG fashion, there's a bit of a string attached and less Conquest credits, which doesn't affect. It affects a lot of people, but depends on what you're spending on. If you're just spending it on Gear 12 plus gear, which there's nothing wrong with that, then that's not going to affect you as much as somebody going for, let's say, Cat, Razor Crest, Mole, Boba Fett, Scion, and Django, one of the Conquest characters. So. Yeah, I don't know about that change. I think it's probably worse in general. But they only changed it because we complained, which I think I would complain about that too, but if it's just an endless cycle and they're just going to keep putting strings attached to our complaints, then I really don't know about that. And bargaining is where probably they can make a couple of things better here and there, like quality of life updates. I mean, that's fine because it doesn't really clash with their judgment. So what they've been trying to do is they're trying to make scavengers and data disk places not appear both at the same time. That doesn't affect their revenue anyway, so they're perfectly fine with it. And the entire premise of this video is around Conquest, so I'm not really complaining about anything else. But yeah, Conquest is a kind of a shit show right now, and I'm assuming we all know why. Or at least everyone who's level 85 knows why. But yeah, the next topic would be the fourth stage of the 5 stages of grief, which is depression. So a lot of people, I think this one is mainly regarding people who decide to quit the game over Conquest, which it happens. But like I said earlier, if Conquest is the only mode you have a problem with, then and you enjoy all the other game modes, just don't play Conquest. Like I said earlier, the rewards are not very good. They've decreased the rewards a little bit. I don't know by how much, but it just, if you don't want to, if you don't find Conquest fun and you're not going to chase the new meta, well, not really a meta character, but the new Conquest character each time, then you don't necessarily have to play Conquest, and I advise you to not if it's negatively affecting your mental health or your overall opinion on the game, because if one game mode causes you to not have fun with an entire game, then I think just dropping the game mode is better overall than dropping the game. Because this is a game after all, it's not a chore, it's made for fun, and if you don't have fun playing a certain mode in a game, but you have fun with the rest of the game, then that's perfectly fine if you just drop the one mode, because Conquest isn't as important as many people think it is. But that is just my opinion. And a lot of people are going through the depression phase. Easy way to get out of it is just drop Conquest or drop the game. If you have a lot of problems with different modes as well, like, say, Territory War matchmaking, you have a problem with that, well, if you have a problem with a lot of things in the game, then maybe just dropping the game is better for your mental health. But I think for the people who just have problems with Conquest, dropping Conquest is a perfectly fine alternative, and I'd probably advise that, because Conquest rewards are not as good as they once were, and that's just a sad fact of life. We have to accept it. Stage 5, speaking of acceptance, Stage 5 of the 5 stages of grief is acceptance. And I've been here for a little while because I already figured that they're not really going to make Conquest any better after the Conquest 7 changes. Those were not too good, I have to say. I'm assuming everyone knows that, though. And also, I did a road-ahead review on that, which I can probably put a card in the top right-hand corner, but that video is kind of irrelevant now, I have to say. But yeah, the newest addition to the acceptance group would be Arnold T101, which, say what you want about Arnold, but the fact of the matter is he's probably the biggest content creator that Galaxy of Heroes has. So he is a very important role, and he has influence over a lot of people. I think he's been doing pretty well with his influence now, but I mean, who does he care? Nobody really watches my video anyway. But yeah, I just have to say that acceptance, it's the name, obviously, because you just gotta accept some things that Conquest will probably not be very good, or it may just even completely deaden. Like, the mode might just be dead, but if nobody plays Conquest, or a lot of people stop playing Conquest for reasons that I've mentioned previously, then you're not really falling behind if you don't play Conquest. So, because falling behind is a big thing about any hero collector game, especially one with like Squad, Fleet, Arena. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't think that you'll ever be number one or in like Squad Arena, Fleet Arena, then I think you'll probably, as a free to play, you'll probably have more fun. Because if you're that competitive, then yeah, it's gonna be rough. So you just gotta accept the fact that, because I mean you can complain. It depends. It depends on if they'd listen or not. I think CG definitely listens to our complaints, but do they change anything? They change it often if it's quality of life, but if it has something that impacts their revenue or takes it away, then they'll probably at least question it and likely not make the change. They did make a change to the gear crunch, which I think is pretty nice, but I mean it's a bit late. But yeah, I think the gear crunch change is nice, but yeah. Arnold, what's it called? I think he posted a video a while back about Funeral Conquest. I think that was a pretty funny video, I have to say. But yeah. Conquest has not just recently died, it's been dead for a little while, in my opinion. And I think this Conquest update wasn't as bad as the previous Conquest update. That is probably, the previous Conquest update was the nail in the coffin for me. I still do play Conquest, or at least I play now because of easy mode. It's just, it is what it is, it's easy. And there's no real stress behind it, so they've kind of driven it into the ground in typical CG fashion. They've created something and made nothing out of the said something. So, I know I'm rambling on about this, but yeah, that's just the premise of the video, and that's just the premise of the state of game, state of the Conquest. Hopefully it gets better at some point, but I don't know. And that will wrap up the 5 stages of grief. Hope you guys have a great day, and enjoy your future endeavors in life, and also subscribe for 3 Clone Wars Chewie shards. I'll promise they'll be delivered pretty soon. Okay then, bye. $1 billion company.